Hello, hello, my beautiful people. None other than Nyakoja Vargas on 2.0. How are you guys doing this chilly Saturday? I'm all coupled up right here on my set. Hope you guys are having a beautiful Saturday night.
Nimesikia akisema chilly Saturday. Anyway, ni Newton hapa hivyo Ogero, na kama kawaida mtafurahia. Mnaona leo nimevaa jacket because hii weather manze kuna baridi. Lakini mnajua kwa nini wakisia tusikii baridi? Because we are hot tempered. This dry jokes na kitu ndio niseme hiyo.
Niaje James K hapa ndani aka King James. Maze, it's that time. Tupatane masa.
Look on the stuff. Hey, look on the motor. As you can see, it's your girl. Now, as I said earlier last week, that this is my birthday month and one of my favorite months. And so something's reminded me today that it's also one of my darkest months. On this day, for all those who know me nicely, 2 years back, I lost a very special part of my life. The guy I was asking for. Dawari nakubuka, dawari 39, nikichukua here. Yes, but away from the somber mode, back to chit chat. Let's have fun. You're not ready, as Ogero always say. Keep it locked.
It's your girl Aziza Hashim, aka the Media Messiah, baby. I'm ukipenda unaweza need some farmer. Sheku mwana farmer kiki. Hakuna twende to keep it chit chat.
Yeah. This is a guy alikuchingu cheno, you can call me Mr. G. Na leo nimesikia issue inataka kuwa chili, it's a chili spread. Nitakuja na sauce.
Please uncle, hizo walking style wachana nazo, utajivunja. My name is Nashipa Kisenya. You can call me the Queen of Mashakura. And before we finish the show, I want to tell you something about the bus theory. Tuonane baadaye. You're welcome.
It was all crazy bana. Watu wako ni wangori kama kawa kama dawa. Leo tumesema kwanza tuwazeta chakula alafu wageni waingie baadaye. Hao ndo watu wako wa leo. Mahost wako wa chicha. This your one and only sweet boy Tam Tam. MC member interesting. The only virgin boy in is 7 kids. And by the way, kujeni muone. Leo ni kunoma. Kwa hivyo ingia pale hivyo WhatsApp cheza kama wewe 0770 729 366. That's our WhatsApp number. Ingia pale hivyo YouTube, changamuka tutumia andika hapo ma comments Ebru TV #chitchat. Mambo ni ngori. Ngoja kidogo. Hello. Ati mimi ni mimi mnagojea studio. Ni sawa, acha ni come through. Fresh. Noma.
We are sorry.
Welcome to
Chit-chat.
By the way,
Kujeni muone.
Ni huko.
That is what we're supposed to say, isn't it?
Unajua nini?
What?
Tumekumiss.
I miss you guys so much. Yeah. Anyway, on to the first question. Is there something wrong with a man asking a woman what she brings to the table? To me, there is nothing wrong. To me, there is nothing wrong whatsoever. To me, there's nothing wrong whatsoever because when you think about it, a man has been brought up in a way he's told you're the provider, you'll have to do everything for your family. So, no, that's how men are brought up. That's how men are brought up, to be honest. Now you'll be told you sit down and wait for your wife. No, he will be brought up in the perspective of you have to work hard. Some. Okay. In this perspective, I'm thinking about a man who has his own, who let's say a doctor or a person who just has his shit together. By the time he's amejipanga maishani, the second you know what a woman can bring to the table, it will better your relationship, it will better your future. And right now, you've been told don't marry a woman for her looks or how you think she can drink the most or drink all the other girls in the bar. No, marry someone who can help you.
Many people are marrying because of that.
What?
No, people are marrying because you drink a lot.
No, a man can be attracted to a woman maybe because of how much fun they'll have in the bar. That's not an issue. That's no. Yeah. So to me, there's nothing wrong with a man asking because a woman can't just, like me, I can't just be like, I'll be a good wife, I'll cook, you'll be the only man I've ever had in my life. No, it has to be like, I'm business-minded, I'm going to business school, I can do this and that. So to me, there's nothing wrong. ask until you find what's right and what's perfect. Don't regret in 10 or 15 years.
Okay,
for me, it depends on when you're asking that particular question. It's not a matter of the question itself. It's a matter of when in the relationship you're asking. If it's at the beginning of the relationship, whereby you're trying to gauge, msee anafanya nini, atanisaidia kivipi, ye role yake atakuwa anacheza nini kwa this particular relationship, it actually makes sense. But iya baadaye where you're asking ati, oh, we na we unaletanga nini kwa table, why didn't you ask those questions at the beginning? No, it's your role to ask. Mimi, when we're dating, I will ask you, what are your plans for the future? What are your 5-year goals? Like, what plans do you have? Say, are you dating to get married? No, me, I'm dating to marry. So I have no room for jokes.
Wow.
Siko kwa street.
Tunaingia kwa panel ya
No,
mamake na babake.
sio mamangu na babangu mimi mwenyewe.
Unakuja unafanya presentation ukiwa na
So
slides.
now that you want me, no, and I want to do it face to face. Now that you want me, why do you want me? What are the reasons?
Okay, to all men out there, before daters, iza kuja na photocopy ID, barua kutoka kwa chief, admission
Yeah, na
letter,
CV
living
yako kutoka
certificate.
kwa the previous person you were with.
Fingerprint clearance.
Reference letter.
Anyway, me
Yes.
think, in as much as men we were meant to provide, if I ati mama anaka kwa nyumba like there, are you getting? Wezi kaa kwa nyumba, tofauti yako na paka ni nini? Paka tofauti yako na a pet ni nini? Like, as in, unajua na hii economy, there's no way nitaenda, manze, hakuna venye mtu mza manage peke yako. Una get, at least, hata kaa si kitu kubwa, as in, wewe no vitu ndogo. Simamia supper, simamia lunch, simamia breakfast. Si ati kila kitu naniomba nisaidie 10, nikule hata 10 ya credit tunaomba. Kule mawe. Wow.
So, guys, and I think this is something that we've been talking about over and over again. Every time we're having such a conversation, I always say that family dynamics are different. And even when it comes to a relationship, people operate differently. And it's governed by so many other things. Your upbringing, the way Tiffany has said, or your culture, or even you as a person, your belief system and all that. But then now when it comes to what you're bringing to the table, most of the time, it's usually about finances. This question arises when it comes to finances. And I think it's very important that when you're dating someone, young men, when you're dating someone, or rather when you're planning to set, of course, this question comes at that point of now when you're getting married, right? You need to have someone who will bring in something. Because for one, the economy is really tough. And there's no point you in a relationship with someone or in a marriage, and then one person is training so much, trying to provide, trying to do everything, and you're just sitting like a pet in the house. It does not make sense. So it's very important. It's very important for you to, what are you bringing to the table? But then again, sometimes this thing is usually brought up in a negative way, because at times it can even get abusive. You can't just bring your pee on the table. That's not enough and all that. And even you as a man, when you're bringing just money on the table, money is not enough to sustain a relationship, to sustain all. So there are a lot of other things that people can actually bring in together in the table so that they can have a good relationship.
Okay, I don't know whether I'm the only one who come to this specific society where there are this kind of men. Hawataki mabibi zao wafanye kazi. Ako tu kwa
there are certain men like that.
Jaribu nisikie. Ati sijui mimi naitwa media mezaya anafanyaga huko Ebru. Nikusikie huko. Unacheki? Yes, ana provide kila kitu mami, lakini ako poa ana provide kila kitu. But yeye hataki ufanye kazi. Unacheki? Lakini akona kuna wanakuwa somehow wako insecure.
Yes,
juu wanadhani ukienda huko utapata. Kwanza kama umebeba na cheki alafu boss wako anaona vitu kama hizi. Yaani ni insecurity tu. Juu hatuwezi sema kitu kingine.
Not necessarily. Let me give you a real life case study before you actually go to that. I don't know if you know Grand Mula. He's one of the richest lawyers that we have around. Na hiyo for yeye aliamua wife yake wacha akae nyumbani, I will pay you a monthly salary for you to actually just take care of the kids. Huyu wife wake ni first class graduate from Middlesex University in the United Kingdom, UK. So yeye akaamua, mimi sitaki ufanye job, sitaki uhustle. Now he's not an insecure man, so it's not all men.
Aziza, there is that.
It depends with the person you're dating, and it depends with the person you're marrying.
But let me ask, don't you, okay, I'm not trying to judge anyone, I'm just thinking. why is it that you want to devalue this woman's education?
Sure.
Unaona yako ndio important enough for you to go get a job.
No, but you know, at the end of the day,
what?
It's not a matter of devaluing, it's a matter of the conversation you have with that person. Because for a graduate to actually agree to do that, there's a lot to it.
But let me tell you something. There are questions that we pose to a woman, especially after she's given birth. As a man, as a society, we pose this question, you're going to work sababu, you think you want to help. Kwa familia tusaidiane, but I can afford to do everything. I will pay you at the end of the month. That woman is only allowed to say yes or no. Like hana chance. Hawezi sema no. Let's be honest.
Let's put it in a different kind of situation.
I'm not even done. I'm not even done.
No. This case study,
I'm not even
because you don't know the conversations that people have.
It's fine. I'm just trying to understand. Because the reality on the ground is the reality on the ground is hakuna mzazi alipeleka mtoto wake shule.
Exactly.
That kind of education, he end up to at any housewife.
Yes.
And for me, that doesn't make sense. Okay, so, it's the woman's idea, then it's fine. But for me, I wouldn't, I don't think.
But you know, to each their own at the end of the day, because what works for you doesn't necessarily work for anyone. And the mere fact that I'm giving it as an example doesn't mean I'm going to quit being the media messiah, I'm sorry. But for them, I understand where they're coming from. Ni situation yenye, okay, fine, I'm very educated, but you don't know the conversations that people have. You don't know the pros and cons. We live in a generation whereby I presume she wanted to be more of a present parent than that. Maybe she felt like she's an educated person. Unimsamefika mpaka university ampata first class. She just can't sit down and nani. So you can't judge that particular situation. No, wait. You can't judge that particular situation based on the presumption that she's being devalued or not. The mere fact that she's not complaining about it means she's okay with it.
I'm not judging this. I'm just saying, how many cases have we had of, yes, how many cases have we had of akidanash, like women wamekuwa in marriages where waliambiwa, oh, weka chini, I will provide everything. Alafu when they divorce, this woman decides, you know what, let me get independent. That means from the start, it was not her idea.
Guys, listen.
It's something that she
I want you to understand one thing, right? In a relationship, how you start, it's not how it continues. Yeah. And I agree with Aziza. There are families that I know of, they decided, you know what, the wife will stay at home. Okay. But I can tell you for sure what member was saying Mr. Member was saying is very true, because I know of couples, I know of men who are controlling their wives so badly because they told their wives, you know what, even me in my marriage, I was told, just chill at home. You know what, I'll provide for you. I had a business running and I had a work going on. But you're told, you know what, just sit at home. And you know what, I'll provide. But then Mimi, the mother who gave birth to me, Mama Tete, cannot allow that to happen. So at the back of my mind, she was like, you know what, you continue doing your biashara. And 4 or 5 years down the line, I got divorced. And why am I telling you this? It's because when you get out of there, you live with nothing. Fine, do you want to be a good parent? Yes, but you know what, you can still be a good parent and still take care of your children.
Yeah, and Nash, unajua Nash amsema kitu poa, cause hata ukiangalia when your woman and anaenda kazi.
You know, I'm laughing. You and my uncle have not talked, but it's okay.
When, let's say, you know, when your woman anaenda kazi, as in,
ndio maneno ya wazazi, nyamazeni.
Ukimkeep busy, hii time ya nini atakuwa ya small arguments atakuwa na una get. Even hata wazungu walisema, an idle mind is the workshop offer. Wewe jua tu devil workshop iko hapo. But
na idol.
Na idol. But kukua idol si mzuri. Uncle, unasemaje kuhusu story?
Okay, I don't think you staying at home taking care of your children is being idle. Right? But when
you can lose your mind.
Yes, you know, like when someone asks you, what are you bringing on the table? Like when Nasha alisema ya kwanza, like it's always in the like finance, right? Yeah. But life is not just built around having finances, someone providing like for you all your necessities. It is true, utakopo kwa nyumba, I'll be working, and I don't want you to go to work because I'll be providing. But that life doesn't end when I give you everything that you need. Like you need to go outside there, network with people. Like personal building does not revolve around finances alone. I want to network with people, social skills, vitu kama hizo. So the stage that you ask someone that what are you bringing on the table, trust me, mina support. Madume wanafaa kuuliza madem, what are you bringing on the table? The same way we are asking, like there's, I don't know, girl child empowerment, sijui nini wavulana sikizo nacho nyuma. If you are empowering women, right? You are empowering them to be able to sustain themselves, right? Yes. And that equality that you guys are preaching, you should also bring it when it comes to relationship. Let us not come up by growing up a breed of people who are like men should be providing, men should be doing this. Akiuliza mtu like what I bring on the table, I'm told like, excuse me, you're supposed to be providing what I bring.
Okay.
Let that equality. Hey, uncle.
Let's say equity instead of equality.
Okay, malizeni kwa sababu kuna kitu cha maana.
James Mwangi. James Mwangi.
Ndakutext definition.
Sasa unajua itabidi nimeanza kuchambua kwa sababu umenifanya nikuwa wa mwisho. Acha nika vizuri. Mimi ndio wa mwisho kwa sababu sasa sijaongea, mja notice ati umenifanya. Let me delete. So the thing I said, now I agree with you. Mimi, you can't ask me what I bring on the table at day one. It even depends on the tone and how you put it. But tumepatana kwa date.
Aziza alisema day one. Nilijua tu ndamisquote.
I know. You don't understand what she said. Okay, so what I said. Okay, let me put it now and then utaelewa kile najaribu kusema.
Okay, say what you have to say.
Okay. So me and Ogero umenita date and then you're like, what are you bringing on the table?
That's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Excuse you, me?
Yes.
No, Angie Jamaliza. No, me as Angie.
Okay.
The talk.
Me, I wouldn't buy that. Please don't ask me like that. There's a way you can unadhaniza tu vizuri, by the way. Try to know what I do, what. Don't ask me what you bring on the table. Please don't ask me because say easy. Me sitaki sugarcoat, but there's a better way of asking this. Imagine tumepatana tu day one and then you ask me, "Oh, I want you." Let's jengia box yako. I want you. So what are you going to bring on the table? Nigga.
But those
that's
are
what comes first. Okay, that's what you do on your dates. Me, please, if you're going to date me, please don't ask me that on the first date.
You want to do
buy some time.
Nataka kuulizwa dates ya.
If tunaenda kwanza nikule.
Nikule.
Nikule nishibe.
Nikukule.
Nikule. First nishibe.
No, yeye akukule.
No. Ana nikula aje na hajajua.
Sio unasema nikule, unamwambia kwani
I'm so serious here.
Sawa.
Sema in English. In English, don't eat me. Let me eat food. So allow me to eat food. By the way, for real, I'll take it. I'll feel like you're offensive sana. Kuniambia what you bring on the table. Please, me, I want you to tell me. My name is Jemo. I work at Ebru and this is what I do and all that. And I'm like, hi, I'm Angie nini. Pengine hata sikupenda kwangu sina. Sasa unaniuliza what do I bring on the table? Pengine niko jobless. So mimi mwenye niko jobless
sifai kupendwa. Because we fixed our minds kwa finance.
And that's the
problem. No, but let's be honest. Me ni watu wangapi wanafikiria kama mimi hapa nje? Wenye ukiambia and I will tell you every man, watu wengi sana wanaume wote kuliza huku nje, what you bring on the table. Kichwa inaendaga financial. But let's be honest, stop talking like Mukorom na mshaenda Disney na nani. Na Tiffany. Talk what's here.
My Disney is also reality.
Okay. Yeah. You meet a man here and he asks you what you bring on the table automatically. Anakwambia you want to bring the you know, wanasema wanawake they just want to bring the kalongolongo part. What else do you have to bring?
Kwa kalongolongo niingilie.
What are women bringing on the table? Tunafikiria financially. Let me tell you, there's a lot of things women bring on the table. Na si financial. Una get?
No, I don't hate people on that.
Unacheki like your woman anaweza kuwa na job, lakini it's a woman who can make your house become a home. Unatoka hustle unapata amepika. Una get? Hajaleta kitu kwa nyumba but ukifika kwa nyumba unajua kuna job ni kutulia, comfort nini. So ukiuliza your woman that usifikirie it's all financial. Kuna vitu mingi analeta, emotional support, spiritual, vitu mingi sana.
Please tell us the second topic. That is just the closing
one thing
remark.
before we go to the second
to
question
the
is, let me just speak to the people who have decided, the ladies who have decided to stay at home and take care of the children. It is okay, but you know what? Your child is going to turn 18 and you're going to be so confused with your life. You don't know what to do. You've grown old, you can't look for a job, and it's going to be a whole mess. And then again, this Proverbs 31 woman who used to go and till in the vineyard, si bwanake alikuwa anamfanyia. She used to work and she was still respectful and she was still taking care of her family.
Thank you, Jesus.
On to the next one.
Okay.
Haya, we have another hapa. Nasema, does level of education matter in a relationship?
Jiongee ile kitu.
What kutoka hapo tuingie next topic.
It does kidogo. It does.
Let me start.
Please be very careful.
Okay,
be very careful.
It doesn't. Let me tell you.
Utajichimba.
Okay, for me personally, for me personally, if you have a very high level of education, I will respect you. I will, wow, you're a doctor. Congratulations. But I've met doctors who don't have half the logic, someone who was left out of Form 4 and did a business and hustled his ass off and got himself up to a level in life. So many people sometimes even hustle harder or do way more because they were left. You don't know the reason why someone left a particular level of education. You don't know why I only reached maybe Form 4, or you don't know why that man did not go past Form 3. But the level of respect, the hustle he knows how to do in this world, the way he carries out himself, the way he'll even treat you, will be better than some arrogant doctor who sees you as nothing. Who sees himself with the doctorate
The doctorate is everything.
Okay.
Is everything.
Let me put this.
It
does.
For real. Tiff, I see a lot of logicness in what you said. But at the same time, Tiff, I will tell you things. Logic.
Make sure your husband has a high level of education.
You see? But I will say this, and I mean this. For real, mimi nimeona umuhimu ya mse mwenye amesoma ama level education yake iko high. Yes. Wewe, yes. Maybe, yes. Maybe wewe the few that ulisample ama ulipatana nao ama umefanya research on, ndio umejua okay they're like that. But the few that I've known, trust you me, education matters. Yes. No, jamaniza ku expound. Let me tell you something. Unaona JMO, I'm here now. Ndio nakwambia if level education, at least hata mtu ameingia shule. This jasema hakuna malimekwa lazima ufike university ndio wewe lazima uwe na masters ndio uwe nini, but at least no wait,
kuna mtu ajenda
you're not getting, let me tell you, yes, it does not matter the level or whatever. You contradict, and I'm trying to explain. Just listen to what Angie is saying.
Please
say. It's a very sad day for me, and you're really making me now. I'm about to cry.
Don't
cry.
It's easy.
You cannot be that emotional.
I'm not. Okay. But what I'm trying to say is, at least mtu mwenye ameingia shule, huwezi mkompea na huyo mwenye ako Form 4, huwezi mkompea na mwenye ako Class 8. Mwenye ameingia hadi ka campus fulani, huwezi mkompea. Now let me explain. The people I have met who have gone to school, who have studied, the way they handle point relationship, si venye hata watu wanapigana.
It's a lie. Ooh, it's a big fat lie.
Was educated.
Oh yes.
To what level?
Oh yeah. As a master's.
Genius.
Okay, huyo ndiye kwa list.
Wacha niseme hivi.
Kwa list ya chief.
Let me solve this please, Angie.
Okay.
Aki Angie ni kama
Kidogo,
kitu
acha
hapo ni
niseme hivi,
roundabout
acha
ya
niseme
hewa.
hivi.
Unajua
Unajua kuna kitu Angie, kuna kitu nataka kuput clear hapa hivi.
Okay, you didn't say that because I want to know.
roundabout
Angie,
hewa inazunguka inatoka.
Bring it on.
Let me put some things clear.
Please do.
Illiteracy
Yeah.
haimaanishi ushamba.
I didn't say that though.
Tulia, sijasema umesema.
Okay.
I'm saying venye wase ufikiria.
Yeah.
Na kukua literate haimaanishi umechanuka.
Right.
Unacheki?
Right.
Unaweza educated to the level of no school ahead.
Okay.
Lakini ikifika kwa story za
Living
za
with
mapenzi,
people, even living with people.
Wewe ni fala wa mwisho.
Yeah.
Unacheki? Nitoke hata kwa perspective ya mapenzi. Unaweza kuwa wewe ni Uncle Alex uko na bachelor 7. Unacheki? Lakini ikifika ni story ya pale hivyo mtaani unakoniwa kama mtoi. Sijua mbona nirada? Sijua mbona nirada?
I'm not saying that.
Yes.
Si wewe, it is not about you, it is
No, I'm
about
not
the
saying
society.
that. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, hujaiona?
Sijaiona.
Okay. Unaweza kuwa educated. Kukuwa educated si kumaanisha uko na knowledge, basi niweke hivyo.
What do you mean?
Unajua na maanisha
Okay.
nini?
Let me borrow from.
Sasa wewe utashika leo gai mwadhani.
Hata ni borrow from
Haya, kidogo tu wale, kidogo. Kidogo. Unaweza yani ni short kama venye wewe au kusoma ni shule ulimaliza. Acha
Let me tell you.
Wow.
Let me borrow.
Wow.
Let me tell you.
Sijamaliza shule. Nimewafanyia.
Let me tell you something. Please stop blowing that hot air. Wacha kwanza to relax. Relax. It's getting too hot.
I'm about
up
to
in
leave the
here.
seat.
I can
I'm
see
about to leave.
on the floor.
Nime-expound.
Okay.
Nime-expound kenye Newton alisema. But I will say this. I don't think level of education
Ona,
do
Jemo,
matter.
let me tell you something before you even go into that. And we'll come to you just a minute. I believe when it comes to no, kwa sababu mnaingilia Angie sana, we just have to cool this down. Let me tell you why level of education ya mtu actually doesn't matter for me. And it's not because I want someone who's uneducated, because I'm very much educated. It's because it goes both ways. I don't believe education is the most important kitu ya kuweka kwa ratili to balance whether you're gonna be good for the relationship or not. So when it comes to a relationship, it's all about your character. It's all about the kind of person you are. There are a lot of educated fools out here. I'm sorry to use it to point it exactly as it is. Yeah, you're very educated, but there's nothing your education has really done for you in the real world, because you just have a school learning and you're just drilled for the 844 system. But when it comes to relating with people, when it comes to thinking beyond your education, there's nothing when it comes to that. But there are also some people who are uneducated and just the same. So it goes both ways. For me, kuna watu ambao wako uneducated na wako tu hivyo tu bado hautaki kufikiria. Now, the other way around, there are people who are educated and actually nice people. So it depends on really the character you have and what value you actually bring to the relationship rather than your education.
Aziz, I have a question. A question ndio jibu bila sielewi kwanza.
Sasa utaelewa lini?
Tunakwambia behind the scene.
Acha ulize.
Niko na swali ndio endelee nayo. Like ni wote mmesupport education does not count.
Si hatujasema it doesn't count.
Remember, mimi na tuelewe kizungu, so nyamaza nijibu. What I'm trying to say is, no, Aziz, what I'm trying to ask. Okay, why do you go to school?
To get education or kukula lunch.
Nyamaza, you see? Uncle Alex, answer me. Why do you go to school?
Well, because we believe going to school gives you extra knowledge.
Extra knowledge.
Na America didn't believe.
What did you say about
America
knowledge?
We believe.
So let me
I just say my people don't
You're not taught only knowledge. As in,
how are you talking? Let me answer you.
Jesus.
Can I answer you?
No, we
are living in a society. Let me pick up
Alex is saying something.
From Aziz and member. We're living in a society whereby, back then when we were in school, we always believed there were two types of education. There was the informal and formal, right? And informal ile yenye au kwenda shule, like kuka class 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, like going through a system.
Still education?
Yes, but it is education. But it was not the same way yenye saizi tunaenda study universities, do masters ama nini. But they were also for being in relationships and they were working out. Right?
Okay.
Nowadays we are living in an environment whereby kama aujenda kwa through the formal, like sijui campo, sijui kufanya masters, you are not considered like learned. Remember alisema, illiteracy doesn't mean someone is foolish.
Right.
Actually, if you can look at these things, informal education played a major role in impacting character than the formal education. Because hii tunasoma, tunapata degree, someone comes out of school think that venye nimepata degree, I am like I'm
working with their
learned.
nose on top of their head.
I'm working with everything that you need to know. And that is where we fail.
I have nothing to say this though.
Let me explain it to you.
Okay, please do.
Today I'm going to school to be a doctor. I'm not a doctor, an architect. So I'm being taught how to, we're going to use university level here, okay? So I'm being taught how to make a building, build a house. How this centimeter cannot go with this centimeter. This structure, right? A triangle might not be able to fit inside a circle.
Yes.
Or a circle can't fit in a triangle. But I'm not being taught how to walk up to Angie one day and be like, "Hi Angie, how are you doing today?" Or "No mom, I cannot understand you." In short, you can have education in your mind, which means you're good at what you do in terms of your career. Yes. But when it comes to actually living with people, having people around you in life, you struggle in that aspect because you don't understand why Angie is not agreeing to what I'm saying or why Aziza is acting a specific type of way. So education doesn't matter. And actually a very high percentage of Americans right now are dropping out of school because they feel like this money or this what I would have done, I can invest it elsewhere to build my business or to build me as a person rather than going to school to waste money. And then one last thing, sorry. People with very high IQs have very low EQs.
Sure.
Sasa umempoteza.
Guys, we seem like we won't finish that discussion, and I have not yet said anything to do with that. But you know what? Let's go for a short commercial break. We'll be right back with more information.
Welcome back to Chichat. Welcome back to Chichat. And if you have missed any of our previous episodes, send up pale YouTube, check out what we've been doing. Tuma feedbacks, number yetu WhatsApp iko hapa chini, inacheza hapo. You can send us your feedback, we value your feedback. End up pale Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, everywhere at Ebru TV Kenya. So before we went for the break, we were talking about why does education matter? Does the level of education matter in a relationship? So, cheki mimi, according to me, education does not matter because hata nikiangalia like my grandparents hawakusoma but they've been together for 50 plus years. Una get? Wewe niambia ati education na matter. Wewe ushaisikia ati anajua kufanya titration. Itakusaidia wapi? Listen. Let me tell you, education does not matter because I've come across soldiers who guard borders with their own lives but cannot guard their daughters from the knife of the FGM. Una get? Nimekuja kuna ma web designers. Una get?
What?
Yeah. Una get? No. Kuna ma web designers wenye they spend so much time online and they've never helped their children doing homework. Una get? Amesoma ndio. Imekusaidia kitu.
Unajua aje kama amsaidii kufanya homework?
It's true.
Anasema kunao.
Because let me tell you, so usiseme ati hii juu mtu amesoma ati relationship itashika. Una get? Unaona? So mtu kama member, unataka uniambie juu member hajasoma relationship yake ingekuwa si umeachana last week. Kweli uongo? Isaidii kweli.
Okay.
What? Maze, I don't know mali ulitoka. You're dropping them truth bombs like this. Sawa. Anyway, I do think level education is not something anyone should consider if it's a relationship. Because, to be really honest, kakuna kitu moja hai-affectigi how someone ata-relate na watu, it's their education. Let's not fool one another. The most it does, it gives people the room to be arrogant in most cases.
Wow.
It does. Okay. For most people who are very learned, it's what they use to demean others, to make people, especially, and I know of several people who are married to people who, when you either umesoma sana, unatafuta mke mwenye hajasoma, ndio every time when you're having a discussion,
unawin.
You bully her with your, exactly.
Tuna kizungu.
Unambully. Yes, that's true. By the unambully, ndio, I feel, anaanza kuona nyewe, juu mtu amesoma kona PhD,
Wacha niamini.
Ana make sense.
He's always right.
And that happens a lot. Unapata maybe even your wife, who's not learned, is more mature with how she thinks and is very, how can I put it? She's very
spontaneous.
She's very
what you just learned. Valid.
You pick everywhere. Anyway, nasema kuna some people who are not learned, but they can see visions in terms of where your future will be and all that and how to implement more than anyone who is learned. But because they're not learned, someone out there puts them down and anaonyesha this idea of yours, it cannot work because, I have a PhD in maths, and according to my mathematics, this cannot be working. So anakubuli into thinking, probably by the hakuna kitu najua.
Guys, please allow me to change your perspective just a little bit. Your identity, first of all, you're not what you do. Your identity you should not be identified by the job that you do or your career or your don't be identified like you're a doctor. No, that doesn't count in a relationship. But then again, I think I'm not saying that education governs or it matters a lot, but to some extent it does. And this is why. Please be with people who are at your level, because at times you can even striking a conversation, a simple conversation, you can argue with someone because of a very stupid thing, because of a very petty thing. And you know what, if someone has a little education, it kind of helps. And by the way, you guys, stop choosing violence over here and having makasiriko saying that, if you're educated, you're arrogant. No, this person is not on your level, so you can't reason together. You're not reasoning. No. You're not reasoning at their level, so you feel like they're arrogant. No, they are not arrogant. They're just being intellectual. And there's nothing wrong with that. No. And Aziza said something. Let me finish. And Aziza said that just because someone is educated doesn't mean they're arrogant, doesn't mean that they don't have good relationship. That has to do with your personality, with your character, and your system of belief. So you know what? Maybe I'll take my child to school, I'll pay the best education for him to get education, and I'd want him to have a person of his level.
That makes a lot of sense. But let's not say ati hiyo ndio kitu yenye mtu anatafuta.
But it does. If you listen to me, Jemo, from the beginning, I said identity. Do not be controlled by what you do. So you know what? Let's not normalize that now we get married to people who are uneducated because that we'll have a good relationship. No.
Because education, at the end of the day,
in short, if you're a doctor,
I have to respect
when you come back home, be a husband. Stop being a doctor in your home.
Exactly. Identity. Identity.
That's
Identity.
it. Yeah.
Or better yet, marry a doctor so that you can get home and have conversations about medicine.
Okay.
No.
If you are wacha niulize swali venye mnabonga, if you are a prostitute ukikuja nyumbani,
you be a prostitute to your husband as well. But that's all he asked.
Okay.
That escalated.
Okay, that's different.
Saying something.
But listen, Nash, I had some. Okay, I watched this girl and she said, my first lesson in law school, the first class when I walked in, the first thing my lecturer told me is, hi there, look around at everybody in this room. Do not marry each other if you do not want a toxic and unhealthy marriage.
That's for
not
low.
all the time.
That's low.
I know. So not all the time.
Kusoma.
You should. Another thing, I get how you're saying, my someone at your level, but doing that also just brings more arrogance in the.
Tiffany, please, if you want to give your point, don't use mine as a casing point,
No,
because
I
said and I explained from the beginning that, you know what, this is not your identity. But education helps.
I understand that.
Inasaidia mtu
Education
kupata kazi.
matters.
Whether informal or
Whether informal or
Okay.
formal.
Okay.
Inasaidia tu kupata kazi.
Lakini si kuoleka.
That's it.
How many people kwanza wenye tuko nao kwa gava hajasoma?
Oh my
Ah,
God.
Kwa relationship kwa uliza mtu uko na PhD.
Ndio nashangaa ati
PhD 21.
kama una
Please.
diploma
Okay, fine. What if you throw my little points?
Oh, thief. Okay,
Okay,
thief.
so in summary to me, choose character over trying to
Over
marry
anything.
someone on the education level.
Yeah.
And another thing, this is almost like linked to the first question. It's basically you asking someone, are you bringing education to the table? Which we're just trying to say it should not be
Education
brought
is the degree of
up.
jobless.
Utazaa watoto wanakaa aje? Watoto wako wata-learn from wapi? Watakuwa na example kutoka wapi? I am afraid. Me, I'm concerned about my next.
Okay, fine.
Example si ya
At
masomo.
the end of the day, I know we all have opinions, but we also need to cater for the opinion of the person who's watching back at home, because you're more important than anything
Than
else.
education.
Yeah.
Kabisa.
Education is important. Please go to school and finish school.
It is.
But at the end of the day, let's hear what you have to say, because your love is always very much appreciated on this show. And in case you're probably wondering how to interact with us, how to send us your views, 0770-729-366 is our WhatsApp number. Nenda pale kwenye WhatsApp ututumie mamesunje ama vipi babe.
Ushasema bibi.
Yes, hapo kabisa. Wacha tucheki kina nani wamemokre. Naona we have
Kubaya.
classes. That's what I've been doing the
Look
most.
at that look on his face.
Nacheki Shiro kutoka Nai Rescos ako locked, Desmond ako locked kutoka LD, alafu tuko na Katinyo kutoka Mazeras pia yuko ndani kabisa, Madesh kutoka Moso. Hizi places are like wapi, but it just shows how big our family is expanding towards. So thank you so much. Kadoti kutoka Kiambu tunakucheki kabisa. Faith kutoka Athi anasema anatupenda sana, we love you right back. Naona pia Val kutoka Ngong ako Ndakas kabisa. Jemo wasema alikuwa amekumiss by the way, hata sisi tulikuwa tumekumiss. Nyangweso kutoka Kite tunakucheki, Maina kutoka Limuru, Vignal from Homa Bay, alafu pia tuko na Penny from county number 19. How you doing? Rose from Kiambu. Sijui ni any Google after this. Yeah. Rose kutoka Kiambu, very new to the show. Welcome to the family kabisa. We love you kabisa. Yeah, welcome. Pauline from Kiambu pia is a new fan. Tumkaribishe.
Karibu nyumbani.
Big up yourself.
Okay, tuko na Shiro pia na watch na sistake pale hivyo anasema tuko lit sana. Na kuna msee amesalimia Angie. Angie, wave wherever you are.
Hi.
Yes, thank you. Nana kutoka Mombasa, karibu sana.
Nana is my
Sharon.
friend.
Oh, is your friend?
Yeah.
Mtumie kisses love.
I love you too, Nana. Thanks for watching.
All right.
I love her, but she's
Alikuwa
my
amesema
friend.
ni vile tu.
Alikuwa anajua hata yeye
Lakini
is your friend,
ananipenda.
but hawezi sema hivyo kwa
Ananipenda.
TV. Hawezi sema hivyo.
Haya,
Jimo
Philip
Pedri.
kutoka Kisumu tunakucheki, Willy Waumo tunakucheki kabisa, Melissa wa Embakasi, Titus wa Kasarani, Nafti pia tunakuona kabisa, Magia anasema show iko tops kabisa, Jimmy kutoka Kitale, Benja from Limuru, tuko na Nevi Kefas all the way from Busia. I'm a Rajin fan. My goodness, anasema anapenda show sana. Alafu kuna msee pia anatuambia tumtafutie mtu.
Nani
Jamani.
huyo?
Tutatafuta.
Angie pamoja
Nipo.
mtafute watu.
Ni ndume ama ni
Ni mwanamume.
ni mwanaume? Chukua Angie, si uko educated, chukua Angie. Sasa hataki pesa.
Next one. Ndio hii.
She's really but
Ataka mtaita.
Mimi mtaita.
Wa wapi?
wewe mtaita.
Si mudhaiga.
Guys, there's a question. Kuna Kiswahili nasemanga like baada ya dhiki faraja.
Okay.
Baada.
Now someone is saying support him at his lowest.
Okay.
And watch him cheat on you at his best. That's the statement.
Support
him at his lowest and watch him cheat on you at his best. It's a statement. So how true is this statement?
I think what Nash said applies here. Because vile alisema your character, this is where it also applies. Because if this person character yake ilikuwa tu even alikuwa nangojea do ikuje ndo atafute better, that will happen. But it doesn't really reflect ati because alikuwa chini ndo maana.
Not in every case that when you're supporting someone at their lowest then they change, but some do. That's the reality. Some do.
I also agree, and hakuna kitu kingine ya kuongeza because that's just basically the case. There are people, it depends on character. There are people who will change if they were meant to change, and if the person was actually good from the get-go, they will still be the kind of person that they were. Money only accelerates the kind of character you had
it
from
just
the
finances
beginning.
you.
Inakupamba zaidi ndio uweze kama ulikuwa wewe ni mtu mbaya na inatoa ubaya wako vizuri.
Okay, ile kitu pesa ina changing mtu ni kama huko unajua kizungu, sasa unajua kizungu. Hakuna kitu kingine. Kwa hivyo tafadhali ukipata pesa uanze kujifanya ati venye wewe ni mtoxic, hiyo ni ujinga. Na niambie ladies kitu. Ladies tafadhali wacha kuambia ati huyu jamaa, acha kuambia Jemo nitakusupport hadi upate pesa. Si ati nitavumilia. Unavumilia shida kwani una maono. Tafadhali.
Okay.
Kuwa na maono.
Wala tupatie opinions zake 30 seconds twende tukalale kama ishafika.
Before Uncle gets to say something, I'd say support him, yes, but honey, support yourself even more. If he's gonna act up, act funny, or whether he stays good for you, you're gonna have a good relationship the whole way. But when he does start to act like this, you also have your own. So build your own empire as you build his.
That's true. All right, so if there's someone who believes in this statement, if you're a lady, if you're a guy, like before you embark into like maybe supporting this person, if you don't trust that, if you don't trust the future with them, have conversations with them. Know who you are dating, know who you are supporting for the future.
Na mimi ndo nashinda nikiambianga watu mbona uteseke ati unateseka na memba ako mjengo lakini atapata kazi ya pesa. Kwa nini? Wewe enda tafuta mwingine mwenye ako na pesa. Na get jumuisho wewe jua umse hata change aje kupata do.
Ni ngombe.
Okay. Mine is just a single statement. Because of the one who's causing the show actually.
Who said?
Mumeona Ogero amevaa trouser ya 19th century.
Okay,
Inaitwa corduroy. Yes.
It is imported from
Italy. My mom
Italy.
call it corduroy.
Money, fame.
Corduroy.
Nothing changes someone. Your personality na remain core personality yako. It amplifies to the devil you've always been. Yeah.
Angalia amplifier sasa.
Like you.
Wasi wetu, najua umebambika sana. Na sisi tumebambika pia sana, but sadly you really have to finish the show, guys. And as we said, you can always find us on all our social media platforms at Ebru TV Kenya, except on Facebook it's at Ebru TV KE. Number yetu ya WhatsApp inacheza kama venye Ogero ucheza na Uteo 0770793666. Until next time, this has been our time.
Bye.